success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com. Then celebrate it with or without champagne.
I just need to get my
Lisa, you're on. Lisa, talk to us.
Hi, oh gosh, I was trying to link it to my LinkedIn.
So can't you just press to go live and then I stream to your audience top right?
Oh my goodness. Yes, I know. It's asking me to sign in and all this drama. Oh my goodness.
Helpful, not. But it's going to your LinkedIn already.
Yeah, so I didn't understand why it's doing me this again. Hopefully it doesn't kick me out of the room.
Yeah, because I'm streaming to your LinkedIn, so you can't stream to your LinkedIn as well.
Oh, okay.
We'll
So why is it asking me to do this?
No idea. But definitely streaming to your LinkedIn.
All right. Where have you two gone? Why am I on stage alone?
It's my new trick.
Oh my gosh.
Make you this, and whoever's speaking, we think you're gonna be talking for a while, and then I'll make you the solo view like that. They can see you, and they might be able to hear Paulette better as well. You never know, right?
I don't think so. It's going to be very weird seeing my face and then hearing sexy whispers in the background.
God help us. So welcome, Noni. How you doing? Pepperoni, glad you're here.
Yes,
we'll have Tanique here as well. Of course, we'll have here. Whoever's here, please drop us a comment so we'll know you're here. We're not going to know otherwise.
And say where you're signing in from. I don't think I know where people are from. That's bad.
Well,
I know generally the areas, but yeah.
Tell us where you sign it. Where you joining from in the comments.
Oh my gosh, what is Paula gonna say?
England.
We're shaking our heads.
Oh,
anyway, as you've heard, that's Paulette's best voice today, my friends. I tried to say that we're having a health issue, but not for people not to panic. Of course, everyone then panicked. Then Paulette did a video, post to say, "I've only lost my voice." But this is Paulette for you. We tried to hide her, by the way, but she's got a sexy voice today. Apparently.
No, you can't hide Paulette. No, I need her here.
I tried. I hid her away yesterday. I was like, I'm not going live with you. No chance. Today she's here.
Yes, and I'm under the weather too, so I might have to ask Annie to run the show and give the advice.
I won't be like that. Before you join me and Paula were like, she's not here, then there's no show. But you're here. You and Paula are both here. There's many more. Everyone's here. Everyone. Dr. Leslie's here. Welcome. Great to see you. Christy's here. So my new best friend Linda is here as well. So she's gonna join us for Paulette's next mental wellness room. I guess we'll have to reschedule yesterday's one sometime. So Linda hopefully will be there. You can start to hear Linda's story. Who else have I missed? Sam, welcome to Michelle B, my favorite friend as well. Glad you're here. Tanique is sending you greetings, and we have Jay here as well. Now, anyone who's here, please join us or say something in the comments so we want to know who's here. And if you want to come on stage, please, you are welcome to come on stage. Come in the studio, I suppose is the best way to say it these days. I'm just sharing the link in the comments now. So just click on the link in the top comment and then come and join us. Because I would love to hear your thoughts on meal preps.
Yeah.
Or
I'll share some information first and then we'll invite people up.
Yes.
But if you have any questions, any nutrition questions, please put it in the chat. Even if you don't want to come on stage, I wanted this time to really get to people's questions and answer them. So, and oh my God, I just read Noni's comments. Oh my goodness. Oh gosh, what I was
The
gonna say is,
show can only get better, right? No, when you say Paula, introduce yourself. That's when I'm gonna
well, I
get.
was gonna say that, but I was like, oh my gosh, we're gonna have a separate ASMR session to hear Paulette's sexy voice. Oh,
Look, if I burst out laughing hysterically, it's not being mean to Paulette. I love Paulette.
no, no, no. We
That's
are
funny.
definitely not being mean. We are
Literally.
definitely a family here. I think Annie needs to introduce you, Paulette, because if you start talking and he's not, we'll just start laughing and we won't hear what you're saying.
Oh, she's determined. She's here, determined to try. So
And I appreciate that. I appreciate that. I told her if you're really sick, because I'm in the same boat. I have been walking around with a migraine since I think Friday and sucking on meds because I'm allergic to the good stuff. But I really wanted to not cancel today. It was an important topic, so I wanted to really stick to the schedule. But I appreciate Paulette and, of course, Annie for being part of the crew. We've been here from day one, and yeah, Paulette and this voice is gonna make me laugh too much and make me sort of cough. Oh, good lord!
I suppose first thing first, there's no self-shaming on our show, right? I love
Oh, of
food.
course not. No, no, no. This
And I
is a
love
big Linton family.
right.
We love each other and support each other as best as we can.
No, you don't get away with that. It's not true. So meal
Yeah.
prep, it's about time saving amongst as much as anything else, really, and making choices. So I think that's why I say it. We'll come to that in good time.
Yeah.
Deirdre, all the way in New
You all have
Zealand.
a journey, so.
We're glad
Wow,
you're
Deirdre is here. Yeah.
excellent. Back. So Lisa, it's all yours. Introduce the show and let's get partying.
All right. So welcome everyone to another discussion on something to do with menopause. I talk about menopause as much as I can. For those of you who are new to my show or watching on replay, my name is Lisa Favek. I'm a dietitian, author. I could say author now, which I couldn't say before. A transformation coach for women's health issues, but I really focus on that menopausal journey. So that's perimenopause, menopause, postmenopause, because we don't talk about it enough. We don't have enough research on it. And the way you advocate for your health is to have an awareness of what's going on with you and, speak up, speak out, let your voices be heard. That's how research gets done. That's how people know this is an important topic. But this being January, I wanted to continue with the whole goal setting and keeping goals and keeping health goals in mind, and talk about how to really meal plan and meal prep to stick to those health goals. If you're not subscribed to my newsletter, I produce a newsletter every Wednesday on some aspect of nutrition and menopause. Last week, I talked about meal planning. Tomorrow's newsletter will talk about meal prepping to give you some tips on how to do that easily. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. But I am also joined by my two co-hosts who support me, supports my clients, and they've disappeared off my stage. So I'll just I'll give Annie a couple minutes to introduce himself and Paulette, who is under the weather and has lost her voice. So Annie, please come back and introduce yourself, introduce Paulette before we continue.
Introduce Paulette. Paulette has to introduce Paulette in a sexy
Oh my
voice.
gosh! All right, I'm gonna mute because I'm gonna start laughing and then I was gonna start coughing.
Oh no! Look, it's a serious day. It's a serious day. Lisa and I say, of course, we love this show. This show is very important, as Michelle says. We need to know about menopause. We do. We really do. I think, well done you for being the person that brings the topic and brings the knowledge that we need. I say that for sure. Chirito, see you as well. I'm glad you're here, Chirito. So I'm sure it's very early in the morning, Chiritos. place right now, because when I invite her to event at 7 o'clock, she's like, "It's midnight, Annie. Stop calling me." But tonight it's fine. It's fine. Look, I'm still Annie. I am Annie Osong. My company's Global.Media. And what can I say? That book behind me is really important. That's Lessons Learned from COVID. But I've got another book I'm working on, Lisa. I've got another anthology. Maybe my thing, because I was always thinking, what's the next one going to be? And I've suddenly come up with it. I met someone on Saturday, someone who survived cancer. So we want to do a group book, an anthology about how people survive life-threatening illnesses. It doesn't. Essentially, it's a survivor's handbook, really. So we want people to come and share their strategies. And most people I talk to, I guess the issues, the strategy comes down to a bit of mindset, serious healthy eating, changing their diet completely. Some make lifestyle changes, some become religious or spiritual. But some do exercise, some take meds. I'm saying that, so there's a whole thing. So now we want to know what truly works for you. If you have suffered or survived a serious health issue that's threatened your life, then let's talk. So I would love to tell you a story in the book. The benefits for the people that work put in the book, Lisa, is, as you know from being their co-author, it's a legacy thing, right? You're going to write a book yourself? Maybe not. And this is a good way to write a chapter in a book that's going to live, long after all of us. Literally, this is about telling your story and helping others as well. For those who use their book, to build their business is possible. Your book might open doors for you. And I certainly, Paulette and I are discussing more public speaking opportunities for our author friends. So this could open the door for you to tell your story to audiences and get paid for it. There's many reasons why you definitely want to write a book. So I'm trying to find those people, and I said we're looking for 12 to 15 people to be in the book. So if maybe you haven't suffered the illnesses yourself, but if you care for someone who's suffered life-threatening illnesses as well and survived, then let's talk about what we can learn from your experience of looking after them. That's me today. That's what excites me the most. Of course, if you want to do audio rooms or live events, no more audio rooms, live events like this, let's talk. If you really want to do audio rooms, I'll put you on Twitter Spaces. And as Michelle says, everything's connected. Everything is a circle of medication, eating, etc. I agree with you. But some people have, they got their own thing. They got their own unique strategy that's got them through. So we need to learn. I think the rest of us who don't understand, who may well have these illnesses later on. I got my cancer sufferer is one, my cancer survivor is one. Someone else, I think, survived kidney failure. And that's quite important. And I think mental health is another, parts of illnesses that we're more than happy to tell the story about. And so we go. There's many more things. So if you have survived, let us know how you survived. Let's add you to the book. Let's tell you a story. Anyway, I've done my best, Lisa. I can't delay the inevitable anymore.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh, Paulette, my dear. Let's. Oh my gosh.
So my name's Paula Allen. I've come here to support Lisa. I didn't want to let her down. I don't have a lot of voice, so I'm just literally going to sit here and answer questions as and when they're asked. But I'm really here in a mental health capacity to make sure that we cover off all those kinds of things as and when and if they come up. So I hope that makes sense. Thank you.
At least I'll be nice to Paulette. I'll talk about Paulette's 3 books.
Yes, please.
You see them? Now she's coughing to death. Done. Paulette's Jack and Water books. That's what Paulette is on the mission to do. help children to come to terms with issues that worry them. And so the 3 books: Sudden New School, Grief when grandparents or parents and are no longer here, and Moving House. But these are the first 3 of Paulette's 13 books. It could be 14 or 15 by the time we finish, to be fair, right? If you haven't checked out the Jack and Walter books, then say we're happy to send you the link. Now they're available as a series on Amazon, so you can buy them all at once, or you can buy them one by one. If they're kids in your life, then they'll definitely benefit from reading the books. Paulette, I can't say anymore, can I? No, not yet. So maybe last time I'll say, Paulette and I do a mental wellness cafe on Mondays. So do join us to get mental wellness strategies. I'm not a therapist. Paulette's a counselor, and there's a therapist in the room, but we don't really, we don't treat mental illnesses. What we'll do is talk about mental well-being. So if that interests you, then again, connect with Paulette for sure. Connect with me, and we'll happily invite you to our room on the Tuesdays. Not today, so next Tuesday, we talk about children's anxieties, issues related to what's in the books. So these are reasons why Paulette is a superstar on LinkedIn, apart from being the kindest soul you're ever going to meet. I can imagine everyone struggling, Lisa. When Paulette has no voice, how's she going to counsel people? I don't know. You're not whispering at them, are you, Paulette? Thank goodness. You might scare them. Lisa, back to you.
Oh, thanks so much, Eddie and Paulette. Thanks for being here. Well, let's dive into the topic, because it's I don't know what time. It's 5 hours ahead where you all are in England. So it's 11 something or 10 something.
10:20.
Yeah. So I want to try and finish the show on time today to give Paulette some much needed rest. So let's dive into the topic. So wanted to talk about meal planning, meal prepping, and give some tips on what is the easiest way to do that to keep those health goals. And whether it's weight loss, it's diabetes, high blood pressure, high cholesterol, there are some basic things that we should all do. And this is whether you're in menopause, whether you're a man, woman, there are some basic things that we should all try to do if we're really trying to keep those health goals. So the first thing is to come up with a plan, but come up with a plan that is actually suited to your lifestyle. And this is where working with a dietitian, working with a properly trained coach can come in. So a lot of times I see on social media these influencers talking about eating clean, eating organic, eating as close to natural as possible. Which, yes, I agree with eating as close to natural as possible, eating more fruits and vegetables. But we also have to consider where we are in the world, what we have access to, what we can afford. So when you're planning, don't take other people's advice from their perspective. Take what you can from it and match it to your lifestyle. So for example, we're talking about, yes, we should eat more fruits and vegetables. Yes, if we can afford it, we could eat organic, great. But if I live in an apartment and the only thing near to where I live is a local grocery, which doesn't sell organic, doesn't sell a lot of variety. I'm working 2 or 3 jobs. I have kids, so I'm getting home late, so I don't have a lot of time to prepare meals. And the closest, something like a Whole Foods or something that will sell more variety is 3 bus stops away. Then it doesn't make sense for my plan to start to talk about eating clean and eating organic when it's not available to me. And if I'm not accustomed to cooking, being a lot in the kitchen and cooking a lot of meals and cooking from scratch, then I'm setting myself up for failure. So it's best to always start where you are, start slow and build. So we're talking about health, and I think most of us know fruits and vegetables are what we should focus on. In general, for most, if not all, health conditions, we should focus on plant-based foods. You wouldn't hear me say go vegan, because we have a lot of things to consider with that, and that's more ethical. But we can certainly all go more plant-based. And when I say go more plant-based, focus on those plant foods first and then build on it. So when I say plant foods, I'm talking about fruits, vegetables, peas, beans, nuts, seeds, and your whole grain foods. You don't have to eat what you don't like. You can find something that you like, that you could afford in each of those groups to start with. So if the closest things to me are maybe some bananas, maybe some apples, which are fresh, but there are more canned vegetables available, there are more frozen vegetables available, then start there. So don't get caught up in these influencers who talk from a place of privilege, I would say, because it's available to them. Depending on the country you are, depending on if you're in an urban state or rural state. For example, I'm in the Caribbean. Organic foods are extremely expensive. We import a lot of our foods, and organic is extremely expensive. So I can't start having a conversation about eating organic if you can't afford it, or if it's not in the shops where you are. I'm seeing Michelle's talking about growing her own eggplants. So if you are able to grow your own food, even better. But again, if I don't have this space, if I don't have a veranda or a porch where I can put plants out to get some sunlight, then it may not be available to me. So again, you work with what your current lifestyle is, what you can afford, and then what you can keep up with and be consistent with, because consistency is key. With any plan, it doesn't make sense setting a plan if you're not going to stick to it, right? And I like Linda's post, baby steps, small changes. So small, consistent changes is a good place to start. When you come into set it again, going back to that plan, your plate for breakfast, lunch, dinner should be, and this is the ideal, half your plate should be vegetables, a mix of raw and cooked. Your body loves variety. Going back to that health, you may hear terms like gut bacteria, gut microbiome. Your gut loves variety. So you want to get a mix of fruits and vegetables. So on your plate, half your plate should be vegetables, a mix of raw and cooked. Quarter of your plate protein, and then start with your peas and beans. If you want to add meat after, okay. And then quarter of your plate be carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are where you get your energy from. Of course, you want to get the carbohydrates that has higher fiber content, because it will take longer to break down, so you can control your blood sugars that way. But that is where you start planning. So if you shop every week, you have that in mind. Okay, what do I have in my pantry? What do I have in my fridge that needs to be used up? What do I have in my freezer? What do I feel like eating? Because food is not just for nutrients, it's for enjoyment as well. So what do I feel like eating? What's on sale? And as sales are a great place to start. You can save money, you could buy in bulk, and you could freeze some of those things. So what's available to me? And then you actually make a list, whether you're writing with pen and paper, you're using one of the many apps that are out there. Make a plan and stick to it, so that when you go to shop, you know exactly what you're going to buy. It's very strange talking to myself on the screen. Any new comments to talk about, or any new people came in the room? And you're on mute.
With new people, everyone is obviously concerned about Paulette's croaks.
Oh my goodness.
So now, Linda says she wishes she could come and cook Paulette's mother world famous chicken noodle soup. Wouldn't that be nice, right? And I think that, and Jay now, where's Paulette? Jay said just the female version of Liam Neeson. And I agree. And Jay, she thinks he's sexy. I'm like, no, he's scary. Apparently,
Jay, that was uncalled for, man. Oh my God. Oh Jesus. Oh.
Jay, I'm with you entirely. No, look, the meal prep thing, I said growing the eggplants, and I said I call the baby steps. What does Jay say? Yeah. So for that, because it's snowing, I'm making chicken soup with potatoes, carrots, and all the other good things in there for sure, right?
Yeah.
Now, see, here's what people don't know about me, Lisa. I cook for a week. I cook way ahead. I never cook a meal for a day. I can't. And I'll eat some of it today, but I can't cook one person's meal. I just can't. I just don't. I cook a big pot of everything.
Yeah.
But I think it takes. I mean, of course, I heard everything you said. I'm saying, let's not be too. Also, do what you want to do. What you're going to eat. Do what you like eating. Number one. That's my thing, right? Do what you like eating. And I say, here's what I don't like eating: sandwiches. They're meal press. Because if I make a sandwich and I take it to work, I won't eat it. I never have. From when I was a kid, I never have. And I to school, I get to school, I'm like, being that, I want something else. Maybe I didn't really like what was in it, but I know as an adult, when I was a builder, I used to take sandwiches, lovingly made by my wife, I'm sure. But literally, I still, even though I asked for that chicken mayonnaise, that was my thing. I still wouldn't eat it. So do what you like eating. Do what you truly. You're not gonna wake up tomorrow and go, ooh, I have to eat that again, right? So that's my first. That's what I tend to keep in mind. I think maybe the second thing I do is there's nothing wrong with having a break in the middle. So I can eat the same thing 3 or 4 days in a row, but I might want a break. I might want something else in between. That's fine too. So and I will do that thing I want to eat today, and then come back to the rest of my meals from tomorrow onwards. So let's not take it as if it's not a prison sentence. It's not a punishment. It is eating what you like to eat, but saving yourself time by doing it in advance. I mean, many of us have very busy lives. When we thought of cooking every day, it would take way too long. So I think meal preps, it's a good way to save time, eat what's healthy, eat what you like, eat what you enjoy, in other words, and and know that tomorrow you're going to enjoy another great meal. I'll leave you a couple of things that I've learned in my long years about food, Lisa. See, some foods are healthier the next day. I learned that about rice. If you cook rice today and eat it, it's more calorific than if you leave the rice till tomorrow and eat it tomorrow. Even if you warm up tomorrow, it's just somehow it loses the number of calories in it. That's amazing, eh? That's a reason enough to cook rice and have rice on a meal prep, sort of on a basis. So and maybe the last I'll say is, I think yesterday's meal always tastes better tomorrow. Really. I think maybe it's the food I cook, and I cook with Nigerian food, but literally, it always tastes better the next day, always. And it's not maybe. Maybe it's because I like it. So when I eat it today, I'm looking forward to tomorrow already. But some things taste better tomorrow than they do on the day you cook. That's me, Lisa. I can't help you anymore, Lisa.
You actually brought, oh my God.
The whisperer wants to speak. Go on, Paulette. Share with us, Paulette.
Oh God, that's
Oh yes.
Hello, Charles. How are you doing? You gonna speak for Paulette? Excellent.
Sorry, I'm turning around that way. Oh, the cameras. I'm always looking at the wrong place. Okay. What am I supposed to be talking about?
Meal preps.
Meal preps.
Yes.
Well, I cook stuff and freeze it, like do a chili or something or a curry, and freeze some of it in like the Chinese tubs, the takeaway tubs, particularly for well, for us or for Ben, for uni, stuff like that. Well, yeah, lasagna, bolognese, whatever, really. There we go.
Yeah, no, well, I think the point I think for me is that,
but you are. Can I just say you are right, Annie? Absolutely. If you do something like a chili, then it's better if it's been sitting there or been in the fridge overnight anyway, rather than eating it fresh necessarily, or eat it fresh and save some, freeze some, whatever. Cooking like using a slow cooker or something. I'm being told bulk cooking is cheaper.
Yeah, it's true. It's probably true.
But like putting stuff in the slow cooker and things, there's no point trying to make a slow cooker meal for one portion or anything. You have to put in a lot of stuff, and then I don't mind eating the same meal 4 or 5 times in a row, but Paulette won't go for that. So I would just like cook it and eat it till it ran out, but we can't do that.
You can, Paulette can't, no. But
yeah, I could just cook, a couple of kilos of chicken and eat it till it went. But then, that doesn't. Apparently, variety is important. I don't know. What?
Don't join. Don't use
seeds and nuts.
Hey?
Seeds and nuts. Yeah. We eat lots of seeds and nuts.
Oh, Charles, you've done well. If Michelle says well done, Charles, you have done amazing.
Thank you. Like some seeds and nuts, dear.
Oh my goodness!
I haven't had enough seeds and nuts today.
Oh my gosh!
Your voice will come back if you did, Paulette. More seeds and more nuts. Look, I think I'm curious about freezing food, of course, and I know freezing food is an option. Mm-hmm. Some of the food I guess now, my rice, my stews, and things like that. The freezing it can change the taste.
Yeah.
So that's my concern about freezing stuff. So I tend to put it in the fridge and try to eat it as quick as I can. Yeah. I wonder whether you got any advice about what we can freeze and what we can't freeze.
Yeah. So it's a good thing I started writing, because you all brought up so many good things there. Going back to not liking sandwiches, that's why I started off saying make the plan to your lifestyle. And this is why I don't understand some of the influencers that people want to listen to, because they're so rigid with what to eat and what to not eat, and calling foods good, bad, healthy, unhealthy just sets us up for feeling guilty when we eat the unhealthy things or the bad things. Food doesn't have any emotion attached to it. All foods can be part of your diet. It depends, though, on where you are on your health journey, and of course, the portion of the food that you're eating. Timing of the food that you're eating as well has a lot to do with it. So there shouldn't be guilt attached to anything we're eating. Food is for nourishment, for enjoyment, yes, but we need to get away from that good, bad, healthy, unhealthy. There are foods that are going to support us on our health journey, but everybody's health journey is different. So if you don't like something, it doesn't make sense forcing yourself to try and eat it. Because if I'm forcing myself to eat something, I don't like how it tastes, I don't like how it smells, how it looks, I'm setting up those negative mindsets. I'm creating stress in my body, which raises cortisol, which raises that fat storing mechanism. So it doesn't augur well for me. So when you're planning, start with the foods you enjoy. If there's a food or a meal that you enjoy that may be high in fat or high in sugars, and your journey right now is to lose weight, then that plan has to be adjusted. It's okay. Charles talked about a lasagna. Maybe not make a minced meat lasagna, maybe look for a veggie lasagna to cut down some of those calories. So there are ways you can manipulate your meals to where you can enjoy them and still get those health benefits. And again, this is where working with someone who understands what you're going through and a qualified nutrition professional can really help with what you're doing. You all talked about batch cooking. So when you're planning meals, and it goes into what you're shopping for, look for those deals, look for those. So a lot of us may live near places that sell things in bulk. Bulk items will always be cheaper. Once you have the storage space, consider buying things in bulk where you can prepare a lot of things and freeze some for later. Of course, what Annie was saying was true. Sometimes when you freeze things, the taste changes, the texture changes as well. So you have to be careful about what you're freezing. Some people, like Charles said, it doesn't matter to him. If he cooks something, he will eat it for the week. Paulette is different. She needs variety. She can't eat the same thing every day. So when you're planning things, when you're planning for your family, you have to take that into consideration. So, but batch cooking is always a great way. So things like soups and stews usually don't change when you defrost them. So consider doing that, making a big batch and freezing it. Using things like slow cookers, the instant pots, the multi-cooker, I think that's a great tool to invest in, especially when you don't have time. So Annie talked about not having a lot of time to cook. That's why he batch cooks. I would really look at rice cookers, slow cookers, crock pots, the instant pot. So I use an instant pot. I can't tell you the last time I used my stove really, because I just chuck everything in the instant pot, chop it up roughly, chuck it in, everything goes in, and in 15, 20 minutes, I have a full meal, right? But again, that works for my lifestyle. And it cooks a big batch where I can freeze some. There are some clients who tell me, listen, I cannot do that. I need to eat fresh food every day. Goes back to their childhood, what their mom used to do. So they are custom cooking every day. If that's your lifestyle and that's what you want to do, fine. So you just plan for that. Again, what do you want to eat for the week? So that planning really comes important there. But I would still cook batch things where I can mix and match my meals. So things like the chilies, the curries, all of those things are great to cook where you can have meals for like a couple days a week. And those things you could really manipulate. So that chili, one day you can eat it with rice, one day you could eat it with potatoes, one day it could go in a wrap. So you can take one meal and really manipulate it into different meals. And if you're not like Paulette, so Paulette and I are the same. I can't eat the same thing every day. I get bored very quickly, right? So what I do is I will batch cook certain things and mix and match. So we talked about the plate. Half the plate vegetables, a mix of raw and cooked, and there you're really incorporating the different colors. Quarter of the plate are your carbs, and quarter of the last quarter is your protein. So I will always batch cook two different types of peas or beans. With the carbs, I will have two again. So whether it's rice and potatoes, I will batch cook two different types and use that and mix and match. So one day I can take the potatoes and the beans and eat it with, let's say, a slice of fish or tofu. I can take that same potatoes and beans and make a soup. I can take that same potatoes and beans, I can crush up the beans and add to a sandwich. I can take that same potatoes and beans, crush it up, add a little low-fat cheese and make something like a casserole. So there are ways I can manipulate. I can start with a base and create different meals so I don't get bored. If you don't mind eating the same thing every day, then again, consider that batch cooking. Look for what's on sale, incorporate as many veggies as you can. So each thing that you're cooking, so whether it's rice, whether it's beans, how can I add vegetables to that meal? So if it's rice, if I'm doing plain rice, grate some carrots, grate some pumpkin or squash so that I add veggies there. If I'm making a stew, can I add tomatoes? Can I add bell peppers? And the reason why you're doing this is because every time you add a vegetable, you're adding fiber. And fiber is going to go to slowing down your the uncontrolled blood sugars, cholesterol issues, especially when we're talking about menopausal issues. When we enter into menopause, blood sugars get uncontrolled, cholesterol issues come up, blood pressure issues comes up just from that hormonal fluctuation. You haven't changed anything about your lifestyle, but all of a sudden those things come up. Also, your risk for heart disease shoots up as soon as you enter into menopause. So you're looking for foods that are going to reduce your risk, and your plant foods are where you start. Paulette talked about eating a lot of nuts and seeds. Great for snacks. So you can have nuts by itself. You can have nuts and fruit, nuts and yogurt. Seeds, I think, are really underrated. That's your flax seeds, your chia seeds, hemp seeds, pumpkin seeds, sunflower seeds. Pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds can go on any meal. Greater snacks as well. Chia seeds, you can make a chia pudding or include in your baking. Ground flaxseed doesn't really have a taste, and you can add it to your soups, your stews. Great fiber, great source of protein, great source of omega-3s as well, which everybody should be including. Even if you're taking a supplement, you should also have foods with omega-3. So ground flaxseed is a great place to start. And one other thing, Annie talked about rice being cold and eating it the next day. Yes, for some foods, especially your carbs, so those are like your rice, your potatoes, your oats. When you cook it and then you cool it down in the fridge and you take it out the next day, what actually happens is that some of these sugars turn into resistant starch. And resistant starch lowers cholesterol, helps with controlling your blood sugar. So yes, it's great if you eat the rice, you just make it and you eat some. But try and make enough where you can put it in the fridge after it's cooled down, put it in the fridge to have it for a couple days after, because it really turns into that resistant starch. And the amount of sugars you're getting from that meal will actually be less. So people talked about lowering weight control. That's a great thing to do. Put in your carbs. So even your breads, put it in the fridge or the freezer. Let it cool down so that resistant starch could form. I think I got everything. Oh, and you talked about containers. So when you're batch cooking, remember to get good containers that seal properly. So especially those foods that are going to be affected by the freezer, you really need good containers with a proper seal. And put a label on it, put the dates that you made it, so that when you're checking your freezer for what needs to be used right away, you have the date that you made it so that you know what has to be used next. I think I spoke a lot.
Amazing advice. And it's saying that I've never appreciated Tupperware as much as I do now for that very reason. Tupperware is the best creation ever. For putting meals away, for transporting food is... Anyway, that's Annie's little brain. Annie's little brain sort of indulges in this little flights of fancy, right? Paulette, if you want to speak, you can. I'll let Lisa talk about seaweed. There's wrapping everything in seaweed, as Michelle does. What do you think of that? I have no idea.
So seaweed is a good source of iodine. That's not a problem. So making things like sushi, or just so I've seen Koreans do this. They just break up the seaweed and add it to their food. So they don't actually wrap it in anything. They just add it and eat it. Great source of iodine. So that's an option. If you like seaweed, go for the nori sheets. Or you could have the actual just plain seaweed. You could add it to your meals. Sauerkraut is also a good thing to add. Any fermented food, bitter foods as well, always a good thing to add to your meal. Again, going back to those plant foods.
That's a good advice. I say Michelle loves to pick A freeze and pick. Sorry, Paulette. Go for it, Paulette.
I was just going to say the same as Michelle. In the summer, we freeze all the fruit and then have it all year round. So that's another thing you can. It's not always got to cost.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so foods that are in season are usually cheaper. So buy them in bulk, especially when the price is really good. Buy them in bulk and freeze them. You may not be able to eat it raw, but you can certainly make things like like a berry compote, which you could add to oatmeal or a granola, or you could freeze dry them. So there are many things that you could, or you could use them in smoothies, which is also really good. Increasing your fruits and vegetables is the place to start as the basis for any health condition. Increasing your fruits and vegetables, and it doesn't have to be fresh. Frozen fruits and vegetables, when they freeze them at the peak of ripeness. So you have the full set of nutrients. The freezer, freezing them does not destroy the nutrients, unless you get like freezer bird or something like that, right? But if you can't get fresh, frozen is the next best thing. So don't be afraid to buy frozen. Sometimes frozen can be cheaper than fresh, depending on where you live and if the food is being imported, for example. And again, if it's on sale, it's even better. So, for example, blueberries are not natural to the Caribbean, but I just wait for them on sale. And fruits that are highly pigmented, so those deep, rich colors. So Michelle talked about eggplants, blueberries, strawberries, all fruits and vegetables, but the ones that are really have that rich color, I buy them when they're on sale and put them in the freezer, and I just put a little bit in my smoothie or on top of my oats.
Well, Lisa's gone to Iceland, Paulette. It's a UK thing, right? You know, so Michelle says she takes everything and that's left for, at the end of the week, throws it all into a big stew, especially when our kids were younger. No, I think that's a good way. I hate food waste as well, Lisa. I hate food waste.
Yeah.
I will not watch food in my house go to waste. If someone doesn't eat it, I'll have to eat it. Otherwise, I'll have to put it away.
I'm the same. And that's when I was younger. We did have some hard times. My dad really sort of made some miracles happen, but because of that, I can't see food wasting. So I will take things and freeze them and repurpose them. So, for example, I will make a salad as much as I can every day. As soon as like the celery or the cucumbers start to go bad, I chop them up and freeze them so that I can put them in my smoothies. By the time you blend everything, you're not going to taste if something was, just turning or anything like that. So the best thing to do, especially for fruits and vegetables, chop them up, chuck them in the freezer. Things like fresh herbs, you can chop them up finely and use the ice trays. Put the herbs in ice trays and fill them with either water or maybe some oil and freeze them. So you can just take out a block and add it to your frying pan. So yeah, in this day and age where things are really difficult for people to get good quality food, we really shouldn't be wasting as much as possible. Fruits and vegetables, if you could eat the skin as well, you don't throw away the skin. Close to the skin has a very high, and I've seen Annie laughing, I figure out why just now, but close to the skin has a very high concentration of nutrients. So when you peel the skin, you're actually throwing away nutrients. So as much as possible, if you can rinse it properly and eat it. It doesn't have to be raw, you can cook it. So you can cook cucumbers the same way you cook zucchini, right, in a stir fry.
No,
so
I can understand cucumber, I can understand vegetables. And when you said that, I thought orange, and I thought banana. No, I'm not going to eat banana skin. I don't eat banana anyway.
Well, so I'm seeing some adventurous vegans doing like banana bacon. Never tried it. I don't think it's my thing, but it's a thing. But the orange peel, what we do in the Caribbean is that we save the peel of like the oranges and the grapefruits. We dry them and then we boil them into a tea. So especially when we're sick. So like Paulette, now what we'll be doing to you is making orange peel tea. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if Tanique knows about that. Or I know Dr. Marcia, I was supposed to ask about that. Yeah. So orange peel tea is a thing we use in the Caribbean for the flu, right? So there are ways you can take the peels of things and repurpose them or compost it, right? So if you have a little vegetable garden, or if there's like farmers in the area that will take those vegetable peels for their livestock, is an option.
Like that. Paulette to be killed tomorrow. Orange peel tea. Or I'll get stuff from the compost. I think is what Lisa. No, that's not what Lisa said, was it? I take what I want. Yes, Dr. Leslie, it was Charles, the amazing Charles. I was speaking for Paulette. I think, let's go through the comments quickly. So we can do it slowly, but let's go through the comments so we can get what everyone's saying. So if you forget to eat, my friends, this is what the conversation today is all about. You know, if you forget to eat, then meal preps is how you make sure that there's always food for you to eat. Michelle says, no, we talked earlier about what the conversation was today. And I guess it's really, this is what a lifestyle change looks like, right? Rather than see, maybe we have two options, Lisa, when it comes to I don't want to cook. Option one is Deliveroo. You know, takeaway is called. I'm saying, right, now that's guaranteed to be more unhealthy, more costly, you know, and just bad for our health food. So whereas if we learn to do meal, you know, bulk cooking, meal preps, call it what you like, you know, that's how you really change your lifestyle. That's how you change what you eat to healthy. No, so I can't imagine eating takeaways every day. Eating takeaways a few days upsets me anyway. You know, so no, the takeaway is not meal preps.
Well, it's a good option if all else fails. So there are places that offer healthy options. And I really don't like using the word healthy and unhealthy, right? But I'm not talking the fast food places. I'm talking about actual food. There are a lot of places that are doing healthy, lifestyle conscious meals for delivery. So if that is your lifestyle right now, and that's what you can manage, then it's a better choice than buying the traditional fast foods that are high in the calories and is not going to support your health. But again, this is where working with a coach can come in to really look at your lifestyle and see what you can manage. So Michelle talks about forgetting to eat. We need to figure out, well, why? Is it because you're busy? Is it because you don't feel to eat? You know, there's a reason why we do things. We work backward and then work on that mindset to change that so that we can figure out how to make meals. Is it that something quick? So maybe sandwiches will work or wraps. Can I buy pre-cooked like chicken or salmon or something that I can just chop up and add to something? There's always a way to work around things, but this is where the plan comes in. Having a proper plan for your lifestyle, not thinking, listening to all the noise that's out there about eating clean and organic and all of those things, because all those are nice buzzwords, but is it actually going to help my health? And two, just to, as I mentioned, organic, conventionally grown foods, so foods that aren't labeled organic, can still offer a lot of health benefits. So I don't want people to think if they have some sort of health condition that they have to go to organic. As you were talking about the book you wanted to write about the cancer, if I have a particular type of cancer and it's aggressive, then yes, maybe at that point, I need to only eat organic. Because if I eat particular preservatives or pesticides, it will trigger the growth of more cancers. But if I don't have that situation, or I'm not at high risk for cancers or anything like that, I can still eat what's in the grocery or the market. I look for the best options available to me. You know, people always talk about like the code on the apples, and if you see white stuff on the fruit, that's a lot of noise, right? The white stuff on fruits and vegetables, that's then naturally produced from the fruit and vegetables to protect itself. I hear a lot of noise about anti-nutrients from peas and beans, that the food produces these anti-nutrients called lectins that insects die from it, so we'll die from it. Again, this is when we're listening to influencers and not actual nutrition professionals, right? All plant foods are healthy. All plant foods are the place to start when you're talking about healthy eating and whatever health condition you have. Plant foods are where to start.
Yeah, I'm laughing. See, my sister and her friends they'll go around. Okra. Okra. Yeah. They'll go around the shops snapping the end off. If it doesn't snap, then they're not buying it. I'm like, you can't just. What are you doing?
Yeah, why are you snapping off people's?
It proves how fresh it is to them. I'm like, no, you can't do that to a man's shop. You can't just keep snapping their heads off for fun. They do. They really do.
Yeah. Yes, weird. When you pick something, it starts to lose freshness. It will start to lose nutrients. Yes, of course. It's not on the tree, right? It doesn't mean it's unhealthy. And you may not be able to use it in a fresh way, like in a raw salad, but I can still take it and make. So you say okra, we say okra in the Caribbean, right? Taking some okra and doing a stir fry or frying it up and eating it with some rice, one of the best meals. But again, so you're taking what you have, so it may be in your cupboard or your fridge, and okay, I can't eat it raw. I can't eat it as salad. What can I do to repurpose it? Again, this is where having a plan, checking what's in your cupboard, checking what's in your fridge and freezer before you go to buy anything, and really focus on the sales and really have a good plan. Walk with your list and don't shop when you're hungry. I can't tell you the amount of times I have made bad decisions, walked with my list, and made bad decisions because I was hungry. Right? Eat before you go.
I like that.
Eat before you go. And it's okay to buy a quote-unquote unhealthy snack. Right? But again, this is where a plan comes in. A plan isn't rigid. We plan for the main meals, and then, okay, let's say I have, my weakness is coconut. So if there's like a coconut bar like Almond Joy or Mars, I think Mars bars, well, if it has coconut and it's on sale, yeah, I'm probably going to buy it because that's my weakness. But I'm going to work it into my plan. I'm going to probably leave out the carbs out of the main meal so that I can have a little bit of the coconut because I know it's going to be high in calories. So I could, have your cake and eat it too. And then I'm going to make sure, okay, what sort of physical activity I'm going to add to the day to burn off some of those calories. So it's not that you can't have your favorite snack foods or you can't enjoy your comfort foods. So if you're talking potatoes, yeah, baked potatoes might be, with the skin on, might be the healthiest option. Sweet potatoes with the skin on might be the healthiest option. But if I want something like mashed potatoes and I want to add a little bit of cream or margarine to it, that's okay. If that's what, and especially in menopause where things are already stressful, I'm getting bombarded from all the different things I have to do. If a little mashed potato is going to make me get through the day, I'm going to have the mashed potato. But I'm going to make sure I fill my plate with lots of vegetables and maybe leave out something else so that I could have my mashed potato and enjoy it. I was seeing, I think it was Linda was talking about food should be enjoyable. Yeah, food should be enjoyable. Right? But there are ways to enjoy your foods, maybe find a recipe to make it a little healthier, a little less calories, a little less sugar, so we could still enjoy it. Asparagus lasagna, I've never had that. That's a new one. Right? But if it tastes good, why not? This is a time that we should be curious and adventurous.
Yeah, I'm excited about food. Paulette, please carry. Go on, Paulette. Whisper to
Yes,
us.
please.
I was just going to say that you shouldn't villainize food, and your children and young people in the house are watching your relationship with food, and you don't want to pass that on. So you shouldn't villainize food, but you can show them in moderation, and then you, as you say, using a plan, because otherwise kids who see foods villainized can then end up with eating disorders. So that's watched from parents normally, just worth talking about.
Exactly. And that is why I don't like words like good or bad or healthy or unhealthy. You can incorporate practically any food or any meal into your plan. It's how you do it. Timing is important, portion is important, what you have during the day is important. So like we're just coming out of Christmas, and people always stress about, oh my God, I ate so many sweets and I had this. Christmas is a week. We have 52 weeks in the year. So let us have a plan, and a weekly plan is what I would suggest, because you're catering for those sales again. You try to use up your veggies for the week as best as you can. Some things you buy monthly because of the bulk shopping. But again, it depends on how you get paid. So if I get paid monthly, weekly shopping may not be the best thing for me. Or if I get paid every fortnight, I have to work that into the plan as well. So everybody's plan will look different. And that's why the plan should be focused on your lifestyle. So if I have kids, what you said was extremely important. How they view food will be mostly how they see the parents eat. So if I don't like something, or I say I don't like something, or I started to talk about, oh gosh, I ate this slice of cake and I'm going to get fat, and oh my gosh, why? And you start to go down that spiral. They're seeing it, they're hearing it. And kids as old as 2 years, they're going to internalize that. So the relationship they have with food comes from the relationship you have with food, which comes from the relationship your parents had with food, right? So if
It's true.
Yeah, good.
And adults need to be educated. Because some people are extreme, Lisa, in terms of you can't drink anything that's got any that's not even the fruit juice is not it's not good enough. It has to be water only. I'm thinking what so some people they almost like they take the what's the word now what the influencers say as gospel. Just clean, super clean living. I'm saying no, one is very boring for kids. Also it's unsustainable. That's the one I'm looking for. Now they can't carry on through life because just to villainize the kids and the food.
Yeah,
it's a double whammy, right? I'm not sure I'm going to eat asparagus lasagna though.
Yeah,
that's why I left it out there for you. Michelle, if you enjoy it, my friend, we salute
I would
you.
love to see what it looks like. Yeah. So next time you make one, post some pictures. Yeah.
So Michelle has a conundrum. I wonder what your take is. Now, her daughter has avoidance restrictive food intake disorder.
Mm-hmm.
So for some people, so it's not about being healthy or unhealthy. It's about what the only food they can eat, right? What they like, what they really like eating.
Yeah, and that is exactly what I was going to talk about next. Again, going back to the influencers about, they go through the supermarkets and they pick up products and they start villainizing and vilifying the ingredients. And if the ingredient list is too long or you don't understand it, don't buy it. Yes, ideally, you want to buy, again, going back to those plant foods, as raw or natural as possible. But remember, all foods went through some processing. So for the rice to end up in the bag in the supermarket, there was some processing to go through to get to that stage. So this thing about not eating processed foods is BS, right? All foods must be processed to get to the supermarket, right? Unless you're going in the rice fields and picking the rice yourself, right? Frozen foods, all of those things can't be part of a healthy diet. And when these people speak, remember they're speaking from a place of privilege, and most times it's white privilege. They're wealthy, they can afford it, and they go around, you know, if you can't understand this, how about educating yourself? How about taking the ingredients list and just Googling the names and seeing? So for example, vitamin C, in the ingredients list, you wouldn't see vitamin C, you'll see ascorbic acid. If you're not familiar with the name, does it make it unhealthy? It doesn't. Yes, so of course, if you're seeing things with a lot of sodium in it, so the ingredients list has a lot of sodium, this, sodium, that. And then when you watch the nutrition facts panel, the amount of sodium is high, not the best choice. But again, what is your situation? So you have children that are on different types of spectrum. And younger children, their taste buds are different to adults. So, for example, the reason why babies get this funny face when they taste vegetables is because they have more taste buds than we do. And vegetables taste bitter. So for them, it will be extremely bitter. It just means that you have to keep giving them the food so that they get accustomed to it. And also for them to see you eating it and enjoying it. So, but for people that are on the spectrum that can't express, okay, this doesn't taste good, I can't eat this, I can't like this. As Michelle said, is either they eat something or they starve. Again, this is why working with a qualified nutrition professional is important, and not a social media influencer that's talking, right? Because
you are an influencer. You know, you say you say.
No, I'm not a social media, but it's important that we realize, okay, listen, and most young children grow out of it or get to like different foods or get to experiment with different foods as they get older. But what is the situation right now? All they will eat is chicken nuggets. Okay. Is there a way to add one more thing to that plate so that they can have chicken nuggets and something else? It's a lot of stress on the parents to figure out what that something is. It takes experimenting and it takes patience. Because again, children's taste buds, they will taste things. Let's see what I'm looking for. The taste will be stronger for them. So bitter for us will be very bitter for them. It takes some getting used to. So maybe broccoli is not the thing to start with. Maybe baby carrots is the thing to start with. Maybe putting big chunks of food on the plate is intimidating to a lot of kids. Chopping it up small, making it cute. Sometimes making it mashed, making different shapes, making funny faces with the food. You have to keep trying different things. It's a lot of hard work, and I don't envy these parents because they have extra to do. But getting your kids to eat something is more important than the unhealthy nature of the food. So again, this is where educating yourself, looking at the ingredients, and getting the best choice out of what's available and what you can afford is important.
Other mashed food I like. So here are a few for you, Lisa. Welcome, Leah, our finance guru. The ones who's truly shaping people's lives and their wealth as we speak. Lisa, I got a few for you. I'll let you think about them. Mm-hmm. That's a work through the list. Tinned food.
Yeah, I just want to go to the comment.
That's one. I'm going to go down. I'm telling you, so you can write this down, so you can. That's our surprise.
Oh, I have to make notes. Okay, just want to acknowledge Michelle's statement that sometimes no judgment. Yes, Yeah, that's why food has no emotion, no judgment. We put that judgment on ourselves. And Michelle, you're right. Sometimes the company changes the food itself or the packaging, and that will throw off everything. So again, it's to go back. It isn't easy, but it's just to have that patience and give yourself that grace and just keep trying. But there are nutrition professionals that can help. Check your local hospitals and community centers to find out what's available to you. Okay, I'm ready for the list. Canteen foods. You're on mute, Annie?
They're good or bad? Are they healthy or not healthy?
Oh, I thought you were giving me the list all at once. So we're going through one by one?
Okay, so tin food is one I want to ask about. What's the other one I want to ask about? There are a couple more things. Let me try and remember as we go, as we work the list. I remember as I go. I said, of course, slow cooker. That's your thing, right?
Yeah, I love my Instant Pot. Can't live without it.
I've got one. I just barely use it. I suppose now some foods we think are bad for us. Are they always? Is a curry bad for you? But again, I think you explained your last point. It's not the food that's bad. It's frequency, it's amount,
portion size, and then how you make it. So I can take a curry and add lots of oil, or I can take a curry and add a little oil. Right? It's how you prepare the food. There's no emotion attached to food. It's not good, it's not bad, healthy or unhealthy.
Yeah. Right? Which brings us to Michelle's point. Not that I know what that is.
Instead of using like breadcrumbs, you use seeds, you crush seeds, or you use like a coffee grinder and make. That's a great idea, actually. Pumpkin seeds and sunflower seeds are really great at that dry rub for that coating to make the fried chicken. Yeah, that's a great idea. Oh yeah, definitely. And seeds are where I get my healthy fats from. So I don't use dressing. I put the vinegar and then I use the seeds, nuts, seeds, olives, avocados as my healthy fat.
Number 2, allergies. They'll come to me slowly but surely as I go, right? I think Michelle has a point. The shops are not laid out randomly. They've done their science. They know what they're doing.
It's a big business for which foods go where, even where they're positioned on the shelf. But I would say you do the parameters first. So fruits and vegetables are usually on one corner. Fresh meats and stuff are usually on the other corner. But also you talked about, okay, so tinned foods, right? So canned foods. Canned foods will be on one of the aisles. Canned foods are, and I'm going to say healthy. Canned foods can be part of a healthy diet. Canned foods, yes, they have preservatives, but if you drain the liquid and rinse them, they're fine. Things like baked beans, you don't really drain and rinse, right? And it's in a tomato sauce that can be very sweet, high in sugar. So, and the bean itself is not the best quality bean. Again, what is your health situation? If I have uncontrolled blood sugars, baked beans may not be the best choice for me right now. I know England has that beans on toast, right? But again, food is not just for nutrients. It's culture, it's enjoyment. So if part of your Sunday breakfast, beans on toast is part of it, then okay, make sure to have some vegetables, cooked vegetables and raw, and have your beans on toast. That's fine. Because it's still a source of carbs from the bread. I would say, I'm not sure if you all do whole grain bread with the beans on toast, so it has to be white bread. Let me know.
We're not that fussy, Of course, the kids want the white bread. But bread is bread.
Okay.
It's what bread do you buy for your household, right?
There is white whole grain bread. Not all the shops will have it, of course. Maybe like the high-end groceries may have it. But again, what is your lifestyle? What are you trying to achieve? If I have kids that are overweight and I'm trying to control their weight and they want the beans on toast, maybe I will sacrifice a couple more dollars to look for that white whole grain toast that will give them more fiber, more nutrients, so that they can have their beans on toast. And then I do some sort of vegetable something, or even if it's like a casserole or something with more veggies, so that they get the nutrients in that way.
My next one's coming. Smoothies. We'll get to that in a second. Look, Michelle, some Tupperware do explode in the freezer. Everything explodes in the freezer, to be fair. I've had glass explode in my fridge.
You have to find the good ones. And it depends on what you store in it as well. Right?
Maybe, and your freezer as well, Lisa. Now, some freezers are too cold.
Yeah. Yeah. Paulette wants to say something.
I was just going to say that when Ben was home at Christmas, we've been eating wholemeal seeded loaf. Charles's choice, wholemeal seeded loaf. And I thought, there's no way Ben will eat that. But that was all that was there. So he had it. When he went back, he said, taking food back to uni, to a little shop, he bought the whole grain seeded loaf.
Wow.
So his habits, right? His habits. Now, as a student, he might not be able to get it or afford it.
Yeah.
But it's about a habit. And that's in 3 or 4 weeks. So it just goes to show what you have is what they get used to.
Yeah, it's just giving yourself some time to get accustomed to a new food. So for young kids, you don't introduce too many new foods at the same time. Give them whatever they like and introduce one food, maybe every week or every 2 weeks. Get them accustomed to that and then move on to another new food. It is about building those habits and then letting them see you eat it as well. So if you're giving them mashed, then you eat it mashed as well. So they could see, okay, mommy is eating it, she's enjoying it, it's okay to try.
Look, we're loving your comments, but our time is going. And if you're gonna come on stage, you better do it soon, right? There's no words, you have to do it now, really. Look, smoothies, they're the most confusing things to me. I don't get it. They're sold as pure fruit. They're not pure fruit. My son tells me they're full of sugar, really. They're not, every fruit's full of sugar if you look at it. But are they really as healthy as they proclaim to be, Lisa? That's the question to you.
Yeah. So I'll answer that, and then I see Charito had a comment that I want to get back to.
Yeah. No, I'll get down. I'm working my way down.
Slowly, you're working here. Okay, great. So when it comes to smoothies, let me talk about making them at home and then what you could get outside. So again, any meal, whether it's you're blending it or you're having a proper meal, vegetables, a source of carbohydrates, and a source of protein. So it's the same thing you're doing with your smoothies or oats or whatever it is you're preparing. So for smoothies, it should be a vegetable base and you add fruits to it and not pure fruit, especially if you're concerned about weight or blood sugar control. Right? So it's not that fruit smoothies on its own are unhealthy. It may be too much sugar for your body to handle at one time. Anything you don't use, you store as fat, healthy or unhealthy. So whether it's protein, whatever it is, if you don't use it, you store it as fat. So that's why we don't recommend doing a pure fruit smoothie, especially if you're not going to burn it off. If you're, let's say in the gym, you had a 2-hour session doing CrossFit and they have a fruit smoothie they're selling, and usually they will add some sort of protein powder or something like that. That could be a good choice at that time for you because you're looking to replace your carbs in your muscles and get some protein in. So a fruit smoothie at that point is fine. But if you're just going to have a pure fruit smoothie and then go to an office job, what you don't use your stores fat. So whether you're buying it on the outside or you're making it, start with vegetables. So dark leafy greens is where you always start, and it doesn't matter the type. Different types of kale, different types of lettuce. Find something that you like the taste of. You put that first. You put whatever fruits you're adding, and half a banana and some berries, or half an apple or something. You don't put a lot because, again, what you don't use your stores fat. Add some sort of healthy fat. So you can add nuts or seeds, or maybe it will come from the type of milk you're using. For women, I recommend soy unless you can't use soy. So I tend to use as little animal, only because they can raise inflammation. But I'm not saying you can't use it. So if dairy is your choice, no problem. But add something to put back in a lot of fiber. So add and reduce the inflammation. So the fruit will do that. Ground flaxseed, chia seeds, hemp seeds, add that as well. So you get any protein. If you want to use protein powder, your choice. You don't have to because it can be expensive. I know people add like collagen powder as well. Your choice. Protein will break down to collagen where you need it in any case. So once you have a good enough source of protein in your smoothies, and then I add things for anti-inflammatory. So I added turmeric. I get fresh turmeric here. You could add powdered. Turmeric is only absorbed if you have a source of fat or black pepper, better as a source of fat. You'll get the fat from the milk. You'll get the fat from ground flaxseed. You'll get it from nuts and seeds as well. And then I add lots of spices. So spices are not just for taste. Let's say ground clove, for example, is one of the highest antioxidant levels, better than most fruits. So I add spices. I add ground clove. Yeah, ground clove. I might add cinnamon, nutmeg, all of those things. It's not just for taste. So when I do a smoothie, my smoothie is like, there's a saying they have in America, everything but the kitchen sink. Everything goes into that smoothie. I'm putting my, let's say, baby spinach or kale. I'm putting something for sweetness. So bananas, a couple berries. Again, I look for things on sale, or if it's in season, we have pawpaw or mango, something like that I add. I add soy milk. I add ground flaxseed. I also add things like amla powder. Amla powder is high in antioxidants. It's an Indian fruit. Because women in menopause, your risk for heart disease goes up. Heart disease is related to inflammation, buildup of plaque, atherosclerosis, those things. So it's inflammation based. So things that reduce inflammation, I add. So fruit, amla powder, turmeric, ground clove, or sometimes I do pumpkin spice because it's a mix of spices. Things like hemp seed for the extra protein, right? So it's all sort of stuff going in there, right? And if I want different types of smoothies, I do different types of vegetables. If I have salad greens that are going, or celery, I freeze those and I add it to the smoothies. So, and generally, if you're buying the smoothie dough, people aren't going to add all of those things because every time you add something is a cost, right? But again, look for the best choice out of what you have. So if it's a vegetable-based smoothie, again, check your ingredients list, and that's all I have available to me, and I need to buy something, then okay. I'm seeing a question on the screen. What kind of bread do I recommend? Anything high fiber. So Paulette talked about the seeded bread. Again, check your labels. The fiber should say at least 4 grams a serving. So if the serving on the bread is 1 slice or 2 slices, it should be at least 4 grams. But the ingredient list will also say that. So it will be things that have fiber, oats, rye, barley, things like that. If it starts with enriched flour or sugar, it's not the best choice. But if that's all I can get, or that's available to me, or that I can afford, I know the bread isn't the best quality, so I add fiber to it. So I make sure and always have a salad. Or if I'm making, let's say, scrambled eggs, I add veggies to that. Or if I'm doing a tofu scramble, I add veggies to that to put back the fiber. Everything you're looking for, how can I add fiber to the meal?
No, so, Lisa, I lost my comments. So you have to work your way down to Chirita's comments if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I got a couple of questions there that we're gonna come to.
Yeah, and if I miss any question, I will come back to the comments and answer. So don't worry about it. So Chirita she was talking about not being able to eat frozen foods 3 days in a row. So it just means adjusting your lifestyle to cater for that. If you don't like the taste of frozen foods, then it means you have to cook a little more often. But then you could make quick meals. So if you have things like a toaster oven or air fryer, or the same instant pot, multi-cooker, rice cooker, you can make meals in the rice cooker. It's not just for rice. University of YouTube is the best place to check. Literally put rice cooker meals and it will come up. Yeah, so if batch cooking and freezing that amount doesn't work for your lifestyle, that's okay. Because she was saying she feels negative about throwing away food and stuff like that. Yeah, throwing away food hurts my heart.
Don't do it.
Yeah. So then just adjust your plan to suit. It means that you can't batch cook in a big way. You have to batch cook so maybe cook every 2 days, or maybe you have to buy more frozen meals, things that were pre-frozen, not that you batch cooked. So maybe veggies. So those veggies you don't have to. It should work for like soups and stews and stuff like that, stir fries. Maybe not fresh, depending on what it is. Yeah, so again, this is where the plan comes in for your lifestyle. If you don't like, because I had a friend that said she can't eat food from the fridge the next day. She has to eat it fresh. It just means you have to cook every day, right? And if that works for you, then great. No judgment. That is what works for your lifestyle. It doesn't work for my lifestyle, and that's okay too.
I'm not putting Michelle's comment. Michelle, you're evil. You are. She know why I said that. So some people can't. This is not necessarily. This is not this Michelle. Michelle Ramos. I see you, Michelle. Honestly, I'll put it up in a second. Then you know why I said she's evil. Some people can't. Of course, some people can't drink milk. I think there's another point Charita made. I think, which I thought was important, which is getting recipes from people. If you go to someone's house and eat good food that you like, don't be shy to ask for the recipe.
Yeah.
Because no one can cook everything. But I'm learning how to. I use more YouTube recipes these days than I ever have in my life.
Yeah.
And I've cooked things recently that I've never cooked. There's Nigerian food that I really like, but I've never cooked it. Say until now. Now I'm 50. I'm actually, my son's making me be brave and say, "Go on, Dad, have a go." So finding recipes, finding a way to do what you'd like, or to try new things is a good thing. That's part of the conversation I think we're having.
Yeah, your son is a really good influence on you, I must say.
He's a bully.
He's putting you out of your comfort zone, though, which is good.
He's a bully. He's super healthy, and I guess I could either ignore him or say, "Okay, fine, I'll learn something."
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean I get to eat what I really like, and that's good. That helps me, right? Some can't drink normal milk or cow milk, as they call it.
And that's fine. There are different types of milks. I mean, milk, quote unquote, right? available. Find one that's the nut juice. Yeah. That's it. But
Michelle, you are
just be
evil.
mindful that almond milk has little protein. Most of the brands have very little protein. So if you can't drink dairy and you can't drink soy for whatever reason, and almond milk is your go-to, then add back the protein. Check the label, but I've checked it. Most of the brands don't have enough protein. You have to add back the protein. So blend hemp seeds or blend nuts into it, or a protein powder. If it's I know in the States these things are usually cheap. Protein powders could be a good source. But if you're doing almond milk, you definitely have to add protein.
I'm going to visit Paulette's to our recipes. Yes, Paulette. I think who else? Dr. Marcia was here earlier.
Yeah, she was endorsing my orange peel tea.
Yes,
so that's good.
Also,
I just saw
the Marcia is here as well. So welcome both of you. I don't like banana. I think bananas are evil. I really do.
Oh my gosh, I don't understand.
It's an allergy to bananas I have, really.
Oh well, then that's different. If you're allergic to something, then that's fine. You just can't eat it.
Well, okay, well, yeah, I can't.
It makes no sense forcing yourself to eat something your body doesn't accept it.
No, I just can't. My body doesn't want to accept the smell or the look of a banana.
All right, that's a different conversation.
Yes, me and my son, why do you eat bananas? Yeah.
It can be. Remember, you're not just looking at the banana; you're looking at the overall meal. All meals, you need a source of energy, source of protein, and a source of fat. So with the smoothie, you're not just putting the banana; you're adding veggies, you're adding protein, you should add things for omega-3s like the ground flaxseed, right? So bananas can be a great choice. What you don't use, you store as fat. So if you're taking a smoothie and it's right after you did a workout, it's fine. If you're doing a smoothie and you're filling it with bananas and you're going to sleep, not the best choice, right? Because you're not burning it up. So it's not thinking about food in a vacuum. So if banana is the only source of sugar you're adding to the smoothie, totally fine. If you want to add different types of fruit, then maybe use half a banana or use a smaller size banana, right? And this is where freezing comes in. So I eat bananas when they're ripe. When they get too ripe, I freeze them for my smoothies, right? But it can be a very healthy choice. It depends on what else goes into it.
Yeah. I think Michelle's freezes.
Michelle is very adventurous. Bread from squash flour, girl.
What's that about?
Some pictures.
Flour and raisin thingamajig. What's wheat?
I'm not a fan of baking. It's too many rules and too rigid. And I can't fix it if it goes wrong. So I prefer cooking. I will buy bread. I don't have time to make bread, right? But hey, if you like, some people love baking. If you can get squash flour, why not? Be adventurous as much as you can.
So I've learned today to put my bread in the fridge. So I'm going to make some space, because I have soft bread from Nigerian soft bread. I'm talking, it's like sourdough. But literally, apparently, it's the worst thing for my health. I'm like, but I like it. It's only bread I like.
Sourdough is something different, though.
Yeah, so Nigerian bread is like fermented? That. It's soft. No, it's soft. It's bread. It's bread.
It's just white bread.
Yeah.
Okay,
but very soft. It's like
that's
soft
okay.
bread.
So putting it in. Where did I go?
You're still there. I can see you.
Okay. I'm not seeing. So putting your bread in the fridge is a great choice. It raises that resistant starch that we talked about and reduces the sugars, so you don't. So if you're looking at weight control and you're talking about growing your good gut bacteria. Putting the bread in the fridge is one of the best things you can do. Sourdough bread is also something. So if you're a bread person, you love sandwiches, look for sourdough bread or fermented bread. Good gut bacteria, and the sugars are usually less.
Okay.
How long do you think leafy greens?
So that's how much you grow leafy greens.
Yeah, so it depends on how it's stored. So for example, if you wrap leafy greens, some leafy greens in damp paper towels, it lasts long. I've seen where they wrapped romaine lettuce in foil, so the oil and squeezed out all the air. It lasted long as well. Some leafy greens, so if it's like herbs, if you put it in water, so like basil, sometimes parsley, if you put it in water, and sometimes you don't have to put it in the fridge. Sometimes if you leave it on the counter, again, depending on where you are in the world, right? If you leave it on the counter in water, it will stay fresh. So it depends on the type of greens and then how it was grown. So sometimes hydroponic greens, they don't last as long. So I would use up those first. The ones in the supermarket usually last a little longer. Depends on the type of greens and where you're getting it from.
Not Michelle. Paulette, do you want to whisper it to us again?
Oh gosh.
No, you pressed the wrong button.
I'm back. I was going to say we use Ziploc bags. You know, the bags with the zip. It lasts about a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think like Tupperware, those zip bags, they're great. I find them amazing. They keep my peanuts fresh. And they keep everything fresh.
Yeah, so greens are something you may have to shop every week for. So buy the amount you know you're going to use and shop every week. Things like cucumbers, carrots, you can chop into sticks and put into mason jars or containers with water. They last a week and a half. But then veggies are something you should be eating all the time. So veggies are something I would buy enough for the week and use it out, and then go shop again. Everything else, the bulk items, the rice, the potatoes, that could usually last a couple weeks well, depending on how well it's stored. But yeah, different types of greens will have different shelf life. So and it depends on where you are in the world as well. So you have to do a little bit of experimenting to see how it works for you. Hi, Margaret. Yeah, Michelle talked about putting coffee filters to absorb the moisture, paper towels. Yeah, all of those are good. Even when I make beans, so I make beans in a batch because I use beans. So let's say chana or chickpeas. I crush it up and put it on sourdough bread for sandwiches. I can roast them in the air fryer for a snack. I can add it to soup. I can add it to stir fries. So I'm cooking once and I'm using it in different preparations for the week. So I'm not getting bored and I'm saving time. Right? Again, it takes a little bit of experimenting, what you have available and what you're comfortable with as well. So if you're not comfortable in the kitchen, then cooking a whole meal may feel very daunting. Start with one thing. So if you're custom buying food, maybe start with, okay, buy vegetables and buy a piece of fish and make some rice or make some potatoes, steam some potatoes. Start with one thing and build. But this is where investing in like an air fryer or a multi-cooker instant pot can really come in and be a great tool.
I saw a comment from Linda Meyer earlier. I think she said if you want meal prep, hire a chef to come to your house. I like that.
If I had the money, girl, I would in a heartbeat.
I mean, failing that, then I think as Michelle says, I love experimenting with food. Like, I love cooking the food I like. I don't cook anything. I only cook what I like, and I love cooking food I'm gonna enjoy for days on end.
Yeah.
Really. When it runs, I cook some more for another few days. Sometimes the
Yeah,
same thing.
that's a great place to start. Start with what you like. So Michelle talked about lasagna. A traditional lasagna is layers of meat and cheese. Experiment with a lower fat cheese. Experiment with, okay, put less meat and more veggies. So you cook it with veggies in it. So the same chili that Charles talked about, add lots of veggies there, and then you could use that mixture to add it to a lasagna. So I'm cooking chili, but I can make it into a casserole. I can make it into a lasagna. I could have it with sourdough bread. I could have it with potatoes. Again, so I'm cooking once, but I'm using it in different applications so I don't get bored. But if nothing else, when you're making each dish, ask yourself, how many veggies can I add to this? How many different colors can I add to this? So whether you grate it, whether you chop it up, and this is really important for kids who don't like veggies as well. Add it to, if you're making tomato sauce for pizza, add veggies in there, blend it up so they don't see it. Because I know sometimes if they see it, they won't eat it, right? So even if it's a store-bought jar of sauce, take that sauce, add more oregano or parsley to it, add carrots, add tomatoes, and blend it up again. And then let them make the pizza. So even if they don't add a veggie to the pizza, you know it's in the sauce. Start them off there, and then as they get older, let them go to the grocery with you, pick out a vegetable they want to try to add to that for pizza night or for taco night, if that's what you're doing.
Covered a lot, Lisa. You've covered a hell of a lot today, right?
Yeah, I hope it was not overwhelming.
No, oh no.
Mushrooms are really healthy, especially for menopausal women as well. So different types of mushrooms. Again, you don't have to, if you don't want to see it, blend it.
So aubergine lasagna, I'm not sure, but
yeah,
I'll leave.
That tastes really good.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. But I think we agree that the more color of veggies, the better for your plate, right?
Yeah, more colors are the better. So go in the grocery and stand up and pick out one from each color. Yeah.
I try and go with 3 colors for most things I eat. See, I'm quite healthy, really. I feel quite sanctimonious.
Your son is a very good influence. He's doing wonders. You just need to add the 2 other colors to make it the 5.
All right, less of that. Look, we have to go. I think it's been a great event. Even the woman with no voice spoke quite a lot.
We need to rest over.
Yes, please go now. Charles has done well. He has tried to fill her with whatever that strepsil thing is. That's why she keeps drinking medication, right? Michael wants to know how to get on stage. Michael, the simple way to get on stage, do it quick. I'm sure you have a question that you want Lisa to answer. So I'll grace you. I'll grace
because
you.
Because you're about to end the show. So here's the link. I'm not seeing the link in the comments.
No, and the link is in the comments, but I'm going to send to your DM, Michael.
Yeah, send it to your DM.
Michael, he cooks pretty much. He cooks very often, to be fair, right? I said, Mariam, I know you're here, but I haven't seen your comments. Yeah. So
I'm seeing as Michael is coming on stage, I'm seeing a question from Nick, the gifted bipolar writer. She asks about freezing food on the weekend and cooking and thawing it out during the week. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. That's actually a great way to make sure you have meals during the week. Yeah.
So I said Linda is a professional chef who comes to your house to cook. So when she says thank you,
I might have to relocate, but
it's important. What does Marcia say? It's a good choice to have instead of meat. I don't know what this is.
Are you asking what is a good choice, or are you
Okay.
asking something specific?
Okay.
Um,
What is a good choice instead of meat?
so soy-based foods, especially for women, unless you're allergic, of course, or you have a particular type of breast cancer where you can't eat soy. I believe is estrogen positive receptor
Okay.
cancer.
I
But
hear.
generally, tofu or tempeh or seitan, seitan, is a good choice. Yeah.
Turkey?
So again, it depends on what your health condition is. So turkey is dark meat. But again, it depends on how much you're having. So turkey breast is good. I know there are things like turkey bacon and soy bacon. I prefer not to do those things because you're taking turkey and adding a lot of preservatives and nitrites to make it taste like bacon. And bacon has a particular taste and salt level, right? For me, it's not a good choice when it comes to health. Once in a while, fine, but I wouldn't depend on things like that. I prefer to do slices of turkey breast if that's the choice, rather than a turkey bacon or soy bacon as a regular, consistent part of my meal.
Well, someone said earlier, Kenny said banana bacon is not a thing. Kenny hates bananas like
It
no.
is.
If you hate bananas,
YouTube.
that's offensive. No can do.
Yeah, well,
Dr.
if you
Banerjee,
want to try it,
welcome.
go ahead. Right? That's the power of choice.
Yes. If you like it, you crack on. Say
Yeah,
that
good
I won't.
for you. No judgment here.
I say revolted. Michael, welcome on stage, my friend. You know, we're giving you special treatment to bring you up, my friend.
Yeah,
So,
because we're gonna end soon.
I know you cook well most days of the week. How you doing?
I'm all right. How about yourself? You guys doing all right?
Yeah.
Fighting with the flu, but we'll get
fighting
there.
the flu. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, Paulette and I are in the sick boats today. I think I'm a little better than Paulette. So.
Okay. Well, my recommendation is that you stick to an environment that is very warm and humid, and that is very good for your body. Something that you grew up in. Stick yourself in that room. Take lots of fluids. You know, oranges, pineapples, fruits. The fruits. Definitely consume those, and tea. Yeah, just like Paulette's drinking lots of tea.
Yeah.
Keep
We talked
your
about
body warm.
orange peel tea earlier.
Yeah, and don't be afraid to sweat. Don't be afraid to sweat because that's the most important part. Sweating through your skin is the way to get all the bad stuff out of your body when you have a cold or flu or anything of that nature. It's got to get out.
Yeah.
So even if you have to wet your bed, sweat it out, and then get out of your bed, take all the sheets off, and then change them out, and then go back in again. Kind of like hibernating, like a bear, or hibernating like any other animal that hibernates.
Yeah, I don't think menopausal women want to hear sweat the bed. Yeah, that's not an option. But you wanted to ask a question, Michael?
Yes. I like to eat my fruits with the skin on, and I've recently started doing that because I believe it's much fresher and much more. I'll get all the nutrients that I need to get and within the skin. Obviously, clean up the skin pretty well. Baking soda and water, etc. So my pineapples, my bananas, my oranges, my lemons, anything fruity, even the watermelon, I'll eat that. I'll grind it up in a what do you call it? A food processor, and mix it up with my food if I'm eating food, and it becomes thick and also very nutritious as well. That's where I get all my nutrients. Can you talk about that for a bit?
I actually mentioned that earlier. So yes,
sorry, I missed it.
Yeah, that's okay. So close to the skin has a higher concentration of nutrients when it comes to fruits and vegetables. So as much as possible, keep the skin on. Of course, wash it properly, as you said. As you talked about washing it, so I know, again, influencers, people on social media sites make a mixture of baking soda and vinegar to rinse vegetables and fruits. Yeah, when you mix baking soda and vinegar, you're basically making water because the acid and alkali neutralizes to form water. So you're basically making expensive water and carbon dioxide gas, right? Waste of time. Rinse the skin properly. As I said, if you want to use the baking soda and water, okay. I know there are vegetable washes that you can get. It's expensive where I am. I know certain places they're really cheap. If that's your choice, okay, just make sure and rinse it as best as you can and eat the skin as much as you can. So you could go the route Michael is going and blend everything. If that's not your choice, so I wouldn't blend that, and that's just me. I don't have time to blend the banana skin and watermelon skin, right? I'm not going to go through all of that. But with the watermelon, I will eat down to the rind, so the white part of the watermelon, and I'm losing my voice now. The white part of the watermelon, I will eat as well, not just the red. Yeah, but
Yeah,
for
I'd
most
eat
fruits and
the red, the
vegetables,
white part, and the green part.
yeah, that's extreme. I have seen recipes where they roast the watermelon skin. Again, University of YouTube, right? Hi, Platine. Hi, Anja. Nice to have you here. I saw Chris as well. Crispy, hi. Yeah, again, is up to your comfort level, right? And your
Yeah.
health condition. So if that's your choice, go for it, because the more skins you eat, higher fiber content, which helps with a lot of things, especially developing that good gut bacteria. So what you're doing is great. If that's not your comfort level, that's okay.
That's really good for me because that means it guarantees that I go to the I go and have a BM twice, at least twice a day, if not three
Yeah.
times a day.
So not
It's
just for bowel movements, as you mentioned, but preventing colon cancer as well.
Yes.
So that's why. So there's some mention about smoothies. Smoothies are healthy, but blending all your foods, unless you have some sort of stomach condition where you can't chew, you need some solid material to go through your colon, because that's what prevents colon cancer. Don't use colon cleansers for God's sake. Please don't. You're actually literally stripping your colon. So I know around this time they talk about detoxing and cleansing and stuff, and sell colon cleansers. Unless you're
Well,
having a colonoscopy, you do not use colon cleansers. You're
so
actually
what
damaging
I'd
your
use
colon.
instead of that is castor oil. I'd actually take it straight and take it like, and that's what I do when I hibernate, is I take that and it actually cleans my body very, very well and my colon. Um, and that's what I'm trying to avoid because I know that we are genetically disposed to this, especially if we don't take preventative action early enough to ensure that we have a clean colon. And those are the foods, just like you recommended. And I really do appreciate the fact that you actually mentioned those things because I had totally forgotten about that. The medical benefits and in fighting cancer with respect to those kinds of foods and how you actually prepare them and put them in your body. You must understand that our ancestors were, if they were hungry, they were pretty much doing exactly what I'm doing, taking it all because they didn't have all the food. But if you don't have all the food, then that's what you do. You take it all, and you utilize it to keep yourself and your body in good condition.
Yeah,
That's
but
that's that's
remember,
what I believe.
everybody's condition is different. Everybody's comfort level is different. But as a place to start, increase your veggie and fruit intake. When you're doing your main meals, half your plate veggies. Do a mix of raw and cooked. So whether it's a stir fry or roasted, then you do like a raw side salad. Do a mix, do different colors, and then Paula dropped off the stage. shucks, and start there. And then fruit as a snack or fruit and smoothies, whatever your comfort level is. Again, if you need any assistance, any support, send me a direct message, or you could leave a comment here and we could have a conversation, because I know everybody's comfort level, especially if they're not accustomed cooking. Cooking can be a pretty daunting, gosh, and the word just went out of my head. But people need supports where they can. That's why I'm here. Told storing foods changes this property. So that's what we were talking about, Margaret, with the carbs. So if you store bread, rice, potatoes, oats in the fridge, you're actually changing some of the sugars to resistant starch, which means you're lowering the sugar content. So it helps with weight management. And that resistant starch helps with the good gut bacteria, which helps with health conditions across the board. So if you have bread, if you have rice, if you have potatoes, oats, store it in the fridge, and then reheating. Reheating doesn't get rid of the starch, so that's fine. Oh my gosh, did Paula?
Is that our last question today? I think it is.
Yeah,
I mean, there's all about BMs, so I'm leaving that well alone.
Everybody is different, and BMs are also conditional training, right? Some people, everybody's different. I'm going to leave it like that. Just make sure you're doing it at least once a day. If you're not, we need to have a conversation, right?
Yeah, talk to Lisa if you have a problem with your BM. Yeah, you do that.
I don't think I don't believe I just said that.
Yeah,
but
the manager has food recommendations: a portion of baked salmon, turmeric, vegetable soup.
Yeah.
And with papaya, pomegranate.
Yeah. All good stuff.
You
can't go wrong with plant foods. Start with your plant foods.
There's no chicken in there. There's no chicken in any of that.
That's
there's no
meat.
Goat meat. We need the good stuff in there. All that stuff all sounds like way too healthy. Where's the joy? Where's the joy? There's no joy in that.
That is joyful. That will taste so good.
The vegetable soup, maybe.
So you're not a fan of salmon?
A bit plain.
Well, there are ways to make it taste better. You don't have to cook it plain. Again, University of YouTube.
Yeah, okay. I'll learn. I'll learn some more, right? So
let your son look for those recipes.
Talk to us, and what did you say? I know you wanted to speak before you fell off the stage.
One more sexy voice before we go.
Yeah, last sexy voice moment. Michael, get ready.
Goodbye. Eat peppers and courgettes.
Eh?
What was that?
Eat peppers and courgettes.
Eat peppers and courgettes.
And courgettes. Yes.
Courgettes. You call it something different. What is a courgette? Remind me.
What's a courgette? It's like a celery. No, it's like a cucumber gone wrong.
Oh, okay. A type of cucumber, right?
Is it like that type of cucumber? I think it is, isn't it? But do you have to cook it? Can you eat it raw? I think you have to cook it. Yes, I had.
Zucchini. That's it. I know I need it.
Yeah, zucchini.
Zucchini. Yeah.
All
plant foods, and we're just focused on
that's excellent BM food.
Oh my gosh, we need that. So we're gonna take that snapshot and then have her voice.
Thank you. I'm glad you came back for that. Thank you so much.
Yes.
Lisa, we have to end sometime. It's gone past midnight. It's just now, so we have to end. Right? You've done well to answer everyone's question. Of course, Michael, you came on stage. That gives me joy. Thank you so much. And again, you prove how easy it is to come on stage.
You need to put us back on stage, Annie. Okay, right?
Yeah, I'm getting there.
And just a reminder, I am having a masterclass this Saturday, 4 p.m. Eastern. to talk more about meal planning for your actual lifestyle, meal planning, meal prepping, and foods that will suit your actual condition. It's only 15 US. I don't know what that translates to in pounds. Yeah, but it's 15 US for 3 hours. You also get the recording, you get a meal planner, you get recipes, and you get to ask your questions for your lifestyle. So you get basically coaching during the session. So I think it's a steal of a deal, if I do say so myself. I will leave the link in the comments. Look out for the newsletter tomorrow that will give the key takeaways from today. Thank you, everyone who came on live. Thank you, Michael, for coming on stage. Hi to everyone watching on the replay. We will be back in 2 weeks' time where we will have 2 special guests. That will be a show you don't want to miss. It will be fun. But thank you so much, as always, for spending time with me, for keeping those comments coming and asking all those questions. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, hold on. I wonder if I found out how to do your screen share, your program. Oh, vitamin C. Oh, yeah, it's.
I don't know what 15.
Window. Which window? No, I can't see it. I think.
You see what I'm showing you?
No. What are you showing us?
Oranges, meat, apples.
Hold on. I'm not that good. One sec. Let me do. Go on. Okay, so we can see intermittently your background is distorting our view.
Yeah, we're getting glimpses of it.
I'm gonna have to get rid of that background sometime later. But that's what it is. You can see it. You can see the meats and the oranges and the peels and the greens. And I've also got peppers in there too.
Yeah, posting food pictures is a crime.
Yeah, we're not seeing it. Post a picture for us.
I'll post a picture. Don't worry.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, I like the meat bits, of course. But thank you so much. So I had to ask to be said. Now, Lisa, you're a star. So we're back here again. In 2 weeks' time. And in the meantime, so you're gonna post about your service. Your
put us back on stage so we can say bye.
Oh yeah, I forgot Michael was there. I forgot we were looking at Michael and us. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind Michael's face, but I want to see Paulette too.
Yes. So bye everyone. You go wave hysterically. Bye everyone.
Oh my gosh! Thanks for coming, everybody.
It's an amazing comments, everyone. Yeah. Lisa, you have to go through all the comments and respond now. I had to do that earlier.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It hurt. No, mine hurt, and mine wasn't that many. Good luck with that, Lisa. Well, thank you. Get in touch with Lisa, and she will help your food and your enjoyment of life. Right?
Oh yes.
Right, Lisa?
Yeah. Must enjoy life. Yeah.
Oh, come, Lisa. Book me in.
So,
I have no idea what Paulette said, but it sounded really nice.
Come on your program. Book her in.
I'm coming. Book me in.
Okay. Thank you.
Please don't forget, everyone who's here, so don't forget this anthology we're doing with people who've experienced and survived life-threatening illnesses. I think Mr. David Jones has joined us. Now, my friends, if you know anyone who has suffered life-threatening illnesses, then let's tell the story. Let's tell the story of how they survived. Let's learn the health lessons, the food lessons, the spirituality lessons, and whatever else has helped them survive.
Yeah, I think that's an important book to do. Yeah.
Yeah, if that's you, get in touch with me. Maybe you cared for someone in that who survived, say, life-threatening illness or chronic illness. Now, if you know something like that, we can all learn from. Then let's talk about telling what you know. Keep us alive for longer. Is that a good thing? That's a good thing, right, Lisa?
Always.
For sure. Everyone, so I'm going to play the outro music. Enjoy. Take care, everyone.
Take care, everybody.
Bye, Lisa. Bye. What's my intro?
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. She's success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. She's success with Global.Media.com. Every step forward is a new beat to your drum. Achieve success with Global.